Hey everybody, welcome to Geekoholics Anonymous, episode 288. I'm your host Rico, here with my co-host
Dane Cody,
and I get together once a week, talk about video games, TV, movies, and or whatever the hell we like, primarily video games. Dane, how you doing, buddy?
I'm all right. It's a bit of a rough week, but we're getting through.
Another week.
Today's Wednesday. This year's it's been a long year.
We're what 2 weeks? Not even 2 weeks in. It's been a long year.
Hey, what can I say, right? What can I say?
Trump just got impeached for the second time.
Yeah. What is time? What is is 2021 over already? I don't fucking know. Anyways,
gong show basically.
Yeah, no, it's.
But hey, you got some good news. Come on,
dude. We want to. Do we want to get right into that?
Yeah. You can tease it. You got a new. Congratulations on the new baby.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's funny because last week I was announcing that I had a 3070, and this week I'm announcing that the 3070 is out and the 6800 is in.
Nice. Dane is now in the big leagues with the big boys, with the big boy video card now.
I did manage to get my 6800 XT.
That's exciting. So see, you can't be all bad.
No.
There's a lot of people crying, and
it was bad for my wallet. I mean, my bank account, I should say.
Is anything good for your wallet?
Yeah, well, this is true. This is true.
Living is bad for your wallet.
I did make somebody happy with their new 3070. So, hey, I'm like Santa Claus, bringing joy to the little boys and girls.
I know I missed out on I wanted a Founders Edition, and I missed out on that drop this afternoon.
Oh yeah,
because I haven't opened my 3070 up yet. Right, it's still sitting brand new in the package. So I was just gonna. If I got a FE, I was just going to ditch it.
You do know that the one you have is faster than an FE anyways, right?
Not by much, but I like the FE because it looks fucking cool. I'm a weirdo. Shit, just leave me alone.
You are weird.
But anyway, I missed out, so that didn't happen. So I'm not trying really hard. It's like if it happens, because I've almost been like, well, maybe I'll just get another 3080. And I'm like, no, that's stupidity.
I mean, you said it, not me.
But the I'll tell you this right now: the new podcast machine will eventually have a 3080 when the TIs come out.
You can afford a 3090?
No, when a TI comes out for upstairs, and it'll trickle down effect, and then the 3070 will move on. But
yeah,
I have a feeling my CPU is not here yet. I have a feeling it'll show up tomorrow.
Or Friday.
It said it was anticipated to be delivered tomorrow. So
sweet.
I'm excited about that. So maybe next week we'll have the new Skookum podcast machine.
Right.
I might play with some of that NVIDIA broadcast stuff because I'll have a RTX card. I don't know. I might not. Because you do weird green screen stuff without having a green screen with that, right? Isn't that one of the things they were touting? Pardon?
I mean, as somebody who has a green screen.
Yeah, well, I don't have one, and I don't want to buy one.
I love it. It's amazing. But my issue is that my apartment's so small that if I set it up, it takes up this whole room.
Yeah.
And then if I want to do anything else in here, I got to break it down. And so it's kind of a pain in the ass to put up and take down and put up and take down.
My desk kind of takes up a big chunk of the man cave down here. I want to find a desk that I can roll this whole setup on. So then I can roll it into the storage area or just roll it right out of here. But it's all right. It's off to the side. Yeah. This is a massive room, as you can tell.
Yes, that is a very large room. That is just empty.
It's not empty. You just can't see anything that's in here.
Yeah, it's just funny because it just seems as somebody who lives in a very small apartment, that is half the size of my apartment right there.
It's a big room. This is the one concession of my house that the one thing I fought for was having a man cave.
Right.
What do you need? I'm like, I need a giant rectangular room. That's it. No windows.
Yes.
Nothing.
Yeah. Underground,
you
preferably.
can't see it, but over there is like the couches that way.
Yep.
And then that way is the ginormous screen. And
right
up there is the project on the ceiling is the projector where you can't really see it.
Yeah.
I should do cool lights and stuff down here. I need to get a new projector.
What are you even doing, man? Get your hue lights on, bro.
Yeah, I got some of the ones from the Costco ones. Those ones are cheaper.
Sweet.
They're just as good. Anyway, we're going off the rails, and we haven't even started yet. Welcome, everybody. If you've never been here before, usually we start off the show with our BS section, which we were clearly knee-deep in. Getting some housekeeping. Our What You Been Playing section, where Dana and I talk about the games that have been taking up our free time. Then our news section. And news. Public service announcements. And our free-for-all section, where we talk about whatever the hell we like. I think we're done BSing. Housekeeping. Join the Discord server, Geekoholics.com/Discord. That is our Reddit. That's our forum. That's our chat. That's our everything. That's our community. That's the heart of the podcast is the Discord. So join it. Have fun. Play games with us. BS. Make fun of me. I think it's pretty much just making fun of me is like what's like.
I mean, that's definitely our pastime for sure.
That's definitely
watch us make poor financial decisions.
Yeah. Yes, over and over. Share our toys. Help each other waste money, make bad decisions.
That's the thing that happens there, yeah, sometimes.
But hey, 2021, you don't know what's going to happen. May as well enjoy it. Get what you want. Be happy.
Yeah.
Because who knows what's going to happen. That asteroid could still be coming.
Yeah.
They just did you hear this? Some probe satellite out in space there. I can't remember what planet it was by.
So there's an asteroid on the way?
No.
Oh.
Detected FM radio waves from another galaxy.
Sweet.
Yeah.
The aliens are coming.
That's like the first time that they like. I don't have the details exact, but it's like first time they've ever like gotten that FM from another system before. It's like
cool.
Oh. Shit.
I mean, were they playing a good radio station?
I don't know. I don't even know. It's probably some weird fucking noises and bleeps and bloops. Maybe it was just our ship bouncing back or something. Could be nothing. I didn't read the story.
Of course not. Why would you do that? Just read the headline.
Exactly.
Now you can pretend that you read the story.
It's fact.
Yeah.
Aliens. That's what it was all about. They're real. They're coming.
Isn't that how the internet works, right?
Mm-hmm. Actually, wasn't Joe Rogan... They were talking about, like, some military guys recently were talking about how, we've seen UFOs or shit we don't know. And they're, like, actually able to admit it now. Some weird thing.
Yeah, doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, the universe is so big. It would be impossible that we were the only fluke to happen is this shitty rock with our shitty existence. Considering how much life is just on our planet, like, between animals and, like, lizards and sea life and...
Yeah.
Like, just seems impossible that there's not something else out there. And if there wasn't, wouldn't that be depressing?
We're always looking for the truth, so they say that's out there.
Yeah. Like, wouldn't that be depressing if this was all there was? That'd be kind of depressing. There'd be a little bit of a letdown.
I mean, we're probably not going to find out in our lifetime definitively
that's
either way,
even that's an even more depressing part of it is like just not that it might not happen for us. Like Tony Stark suits are going to be like how you get to work in 100 years. Like everyone's going to be a fucking Iron Man.
I mean, you see that the dude with the cool jetpack already.
Cars are definitely going to fly. We're kind of like got the Star Trek communicator thing with our cell phones and stuff and being able to talk to shit and getting instant answers and not needing a brain.
There you go.
To get anything done. But anyway.
So you going to finish this housekeeping off or what? Jesus, man.
If you've never been here before, we're a podcast first and foremost. We stream every week on Twitch, twitch.tv/Geekoholics, every Wednesday around 8:30 Pacific time, plus or minus. We look at the chat. We try to ignore it as best we can, but I'm really bad at ignoring things. I'm kind of like squirrel. Whee! Bright lights. Shiny. Look at that. But Yeah, I try to ignore that. But if you want to, you can check out our beautiful faces on twitch.tv/Geekoholics. That being said, you can also use our creator code on Epic. Geekoholics is our Epic Games creator code. So if you are buying the Fortnite or the Rocket League DLCs and V-Bucks and currencies, use our creator code. If you're buying games from the Epic Games Store, it helps the show, supports the show. And that's about it for housekeeping. Dane.
Yo.
Shall we get into what you've been playing?
What have you been playing?
I beat Cyberpunk.
Sweet.
I'm done with Cyberpunk. We are never going to talk about Cyberpunk again.
That's probably not true.
Just kidding.
If we could only be so... I'm just kidding. No, I mean, there's... Yeah.
I've seen
There'll be lots to
three...
talk about Cyberpunk still,
I've seen 3 of the 5 endings.
There's 5 endings to that game?
Yeah. They're different.
Holy
and
balls.
I can't really talk
Okay.
about them because I don't want to ruin any of them.
Yeah, don't spoil it for me, man. I'm planning on going back to that game at some point
But
once they've
one of the endings
released the big ass patch.
One of the endings I can't get. I had to replay the whole game.
I mean, I'm not surprised.
But
That's...
to be honest,
You could always just watch it on YouTube.
Well, yeah, I did go and watch what was different, and
okay.
It doesn't really. I don't know. When the game's all patched up and they add lots of new features or the new DLC add-on stuff that they promised, and I go play it again, then I'll go back and make sure I don't miss out on that choice. I guess you could say it's the best ending per se.
Huh. Okay.
But
I mean, yeah, I don't want to dive into it too much because I do plan on playing it and finishing that game once it's not super broken.
I don't know. It's hard to quantify that it's the best ending. It just changes one thing.
Right. I've heard a couple of the endings are very unsatisfying. So
I can't talk about them.
Yeah.
I don't mind them, but I kind of wish it was different.
So here's I guess the question. You said you saved and then you went back and you saw the
Well, it gives you the option after you beat the game. It's it's got the point and no return, right?
Sure.
It says if you go past here, you have to go right through to the end.
Sure.
And then when that's done and the ending you get after the ending's done, it kicks you back to that point and it says, congratulations on beating Cyberpunk. You can go back and do side missions and gigs and stuff that you missed at this point and come back and...
Or you could replay the end again and choose a different
and
option,
that's exactly what I did.
Okay.
So I made a couple mistakes. Not huge ones, but anyway. They're
not really mistakes though. They're decisions that you made. And
they're decisions I made,
right?
And then it's who knew there was a secret ending? Really? Come on, guys, you fucking fuckers.
I mean, that's something they would do. I mean, well, what? Witcher 3 had 3 or 4 endings.
Yes.
So I mean, and the thing with The Witcher 3 was that they were not by any means based on some choice at the end of the game. They were. You had to make specific choices throughout the game to get specific endings. You know what I mean? So they were very...
I can't remember what ending. I think I got the good ending, but not the best ending.
There's the one ending in The Witcher that's not good.
There's bad.
And then there's 2 that are I wouldn't consider them bad. There's one that could be good or bad, depending on your thoughts, really.
How you interpret it.
Those are kind of both of the other endings, so go figure. But I understand Cyberpunk's a little bit more hey, which choice do you want to make out of these 3? At least will kind of get you one of those 3 endings, and then there's 2 that are endings that are kind of not that straightforward, and you gotta do other shit in other parts of the game earlier on and stuff like that.
Yeah, the secret one you have to make some choices in a conversation earlier.
Yeah.
Which isn't really spoilery. You can I think it's a halfway point. It's basically dealing with when you're talking to Johnny, right? So
Right.
But anyway, yeah, I beat it.
Cool.
I enjoyed it. It's still an 8. It's just a decent game. It's obviously most polished and tight if you're sticking to the main story stuff, because that's the stuff with the big events and the cool stuff that happens, and it's, obviously more scripted missions than some of the random side ones, which drastically vary in quality, right?
Yeah.
But I still had fun. I feel like there's a lot of tweaks to the combat and stuff. Like I mentioned last week, I was playing on very hard. Like it was so easy that I had to bump it to very hard, and it was still easy on very hard because I was max level. And I just destroyed everything. My hacking was like really powerful. I one-shot pretty much everything, and it's like, anyway, I still liked it. I had fun. The endings were all right. Maybe one day we can talk about endings in a few months when the game's all patched up and everyone else plays it.
I may take a look once they do the 1.1 patch that they've sort of announced.
That's going to be the big one. Yeah, we'll talk about we'll talk about Cyberpunk here in a little bit, because
it's still installed. I just haven't touched it.
They do come up in the news. And then of course, because I beat that, and I'm like, there's nothing. I don't care about all the other stuff. I'm like, I wanted to keep playing it, but I forced myself to stop playing it. And GOG said I played like 100 hours. Like, go fucking figure. Like, Jesus.
Wow, that's a lot.
I have a feeling it counts all the pause time and menus as well. I don't. I think it's like that game just has like a continual running clock.
So as soon as you launch the game, that's what it considers as its
I think
running?
when you load it, and I guess when you hit escape, because I'm dealing with a kid or dinner, or like, sometimes I left it on for like an hour. And would come back. Not often, but there's probably a good 15 or 20 hours of like extra time that probably at least it didn't belong in there. So
I mean, I've heard that if you mainline it, it's not that long.
No,
I've heard of people like mainlining the main story, and it's like under 20 hours.
That's where I was contemplating doing it over again for the Super Secret, and I'm like, nah, I'll save it for when they add the new DLC and they add rework some of the systems and tweak stuff. And then it'll be more worth it, because I do like the game, and I'm gonna be excited to see more new stuff. And they've said there's gonna do like 3 DLCs eventually, which they were doing for free. So anyway, I'll get back. So I forced myself away. I'm like, stop playing this, even though you want to keep playing it for no good reason. You're just spinning your wheels now. You beat the fucking game. You mastered it. You're playing on very hard. You're murdering everyone. It's like you're just wasting time. So then I went back to Valhalla on my Series X, because I gotta justify having a Series X. I really like Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
I do too. It's funny. I've been trucking along. I've finished the third area or whatever. I'm like 20, little over 20 hours in.
Say Alliance? Is it Alliance?
Yeah.
Allies, because you're building up allies for your settlement. Which one was the third one? I can't remember now. Soma was the first.
Well, it depends. Like you have to.
Because you can go to different places.
You could do one or the other at the beginning, right? You could choose.
Oswald was one of them.
So I've finished the first 2 completed, is what it was actually. So I'm working towards the third one now.
So I did Soma first, Grant's Bridge or something like that.
Yeah, with the brothers.
No, that's the other. Yeah, I did the brothers too. That's the other one. I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I went south and did that one first. Then I went north and did the brothers. Now I'm working on the third one.
Is that the Oswald one? The East one? East Anglia?
I don't know. I just had somebody try to be a dick, and so we're gonna see what happens there. So I'm trying not to spoil it for anybody else.
Yeah,
right?
It's not much spoilers. It's just the different regions. Yeah. I've done 4 of them now, or maybe even 5.
Okay.
I just finished London.
So I haven't gone to London yet.
I'm power level 115, I think.
Okay. I'm like
And
84, something like that, I think.
and yeah, my settlement's level 4.
Okay.
And
I'm level
I
3, so I'm
yeah,
a bit behind
pretty
you.
sure I'm going on my 5th place. No, or maybe I did my 5th one already. No. Soma, the Brothers, East Anglia, London. I must be on the 5th alliance right now.
Okay.
I had another option of a place I can go to now because I've actually unlocked one of the first main heads of the order of the
Oh,
ancient
nice.
ones.
Yep.
So I know who one of
So you
them
gotta go
is.
murder that dude?
Yeah, but he's in a different region, and the power level
Oh.
for that is 160.
Oh,
So it's
okay.
like, okay, I guess I really did that magically probably quicker than I was supposed to or something.
Right.
And I got to go do some more main storyline, and I'll go do that after.
Sweet.
So the area I'm in right now is another power level 90 area. And then I did some cool side quests. I'm enjoying it. I got some cool powers. Did I talk about the wolf buddy, wolf power? Did I talk about that one?
Think so?
I can't remember. Anyway, you can get a wolf. It's awesome.
Yeah.
He's one of your ranged powers. It's pretty good. And I got it leveled up twice, which is pretty sweet. So he'll attack enemies, and basically he'll do a decent chunk of damage, but then he'll also kind of do some crowd control. So you sick him on a powerful enemy, you'll do a nice chunk of damage to him, and the wolf will like keep attacking him.
Right.
And then set him up for a stun attack. So helps you do a lot of damage to like bosses and stuff, which is kind of nice. But if you level it up again, the wolf sticks around and continues to attack enemies, which is kind of cool.
Oh, that's helpful.
Yeah, I like that one. I like that one a lot. That one and the running at guys and then just pounding them on the ground. That one's really good for the, what do they call the fucking guys that hunt you down in this one? Zealots? Is that what it was?
The zealots, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, did you have an opportunity at some point to
burn the scroll?
Not have the zealot? Yeah.
Yes, I burnt the scroll.
Okay. So did I. I was just curious if you did or not, but my understanding is they don't actively hunt you down if you do that. But if you come across them, they're still going to attack you.
Yeah, it's harder if you don't burn the scroll, apparently, because they actively look for you, and there's more of them on the map, which can be annoying because if you run into them when you're trying to do something else.
Yes, it can.
So I
had one almost ruin my day real bad. Luckily, he didn't like sort of fully lock on me. He kind of saw me, but I was able to kind of get out.
You can
but
run
I was
away
in the
from
middle
them,
of doing something,
not too
and
difficult.
It was almost real bad.
You can't really take any of them out until you hit level 90.
Yeah.
The first few will be level 90, and I stumbled upon one that was 160. And I actually managed to beat him. But like I was cheesing him with powers.
Right.
And I'm really good at parrying, and I got the ability that damages enemies when you parry. Right. So like he would attack, and he'd do like a big string of like 3 attacks that I just parry.
And you parry each one.
Yeah, and he's getting damaged.
So
he was getting damaged every time. So I was doing a lot of chip damage, and it was just like a back and forth.
Sure.
But I managed to beat him. I've beaten 4 or 5 of them now. I've actually I hunt them now. So because I want their freaking medals, because I want to see what Hatham gives you when you get them, when you get a bunch of them.
That's cool.
And I think you might get some hints on some of the order from killing some of them. But
so standard, like just like in the mercenaries and stuff in Odyssey and whatnot. Like you'd kill one, and then randomly it would be like, oh, you killed one of the people you needed to kill, or hey, here's a clue to somebody else you needed to murder. So
we're there near here. Look around here. So what was another one? Another ability I got was I think I mentioned it before, was the one where you can throw weapons off the ground at enemies.
Right, yeah, that's what you were saying before.
That one's really handy when you fuck up your stealth and you're surrounded by guys. Because depending on the enemy types, you can essentially get one-hit kills with that throwing a weapon. So that's really handy.
I could see that coming in.
Man, I like that game. I like that game a lot. Like,
it's interesting. I have a weird relationship with it. I enjoy it when I'm playing it a lot, but it's unlike Origins and Odyssey, I don't have nearly as big a pull to come back to it when I stop playing
I
it.
started playing it again a few days ago, maybe 4 days ago, and I just want to keep playing it. Like jump in, which is nice with the quick resume on the Xbox Series X. It's very nice to jump in. Actually, GeForce Now fucking works for Valhalla, and with the cloud save on one of my lunch breaks, I put in a little bit of time in it on my cell phone on the cellular data.
That's cool.
Played quite well, and it looked awesome. So that's kind of neat.
Just using your Xbox controller or whatever.
Yeah, I got a Xbox controller and a controller, the nice controller mount, which puts the controller above the controller to have the nice balance.
That is key.
I'm using one of the new Xbox controllers because I managed to get one on a price error like at launch.
Right.
So I got one for $50 and I bought
Sweet.
clip was like $15, I think, the updated clip.
Right.
And I sold the old clip because the old Xbox One controller clips don't work with the Series X controllers because they're just so slightly different. Not because of the button, because of the depth in the front or the back of the controller is a little different.
Okay.
So the clips...
But I could see, because the button is in the middle, though, as well, I could see that causing issues with the depth, right?
Yeah, the clip goes around the back. So it's more like, I don't know, it just comes to a thinner point, I think, in the front or the bottom of the controller where the headphone jack is compared to the last one. So you think oh, they're just the same with an extra button. It's like, no, they're actually a little deformed, a little different, but it's so subtle, but the clips don't work. Anyway, I'm playing Valhalla. I really like it. It works on GeForce Now. I want to play more. That game goes places.
I'm curious because so far, like I said, I'm 20 whatever hours in, and it's like I said, I enjoy it when I'm playing it. I'm it's definitely something that's right now I'm cycling, right? I've got Valhalla on the go. I've got Godfall on the go. That keeps sucking me back. I'm third. I think I only have one or so more worlds left in Godfall to continue on with. I'll probably be beating that game in the next couple weeks here, and Immortals. So it's funny because they're all two of them are very much big open world games.
They're both Ubisoft games, so go figure.
Games.
They're very alike.
I know. But for whatever reason, it's I'm just kind of cycling through, and I don't know. Like I said, I enjoy it when I'm playing it, but it's when I stop playing it, it's not that pull some of the other Assassin's Creed have been. And I don't know if it's because I'm hoping that it's gonna kind of get like you said, it goes places and it gets kind of wild. So far,
no, it really goes.
Really cookie cutter.
Really goes places.
So cookie cutter so far.
It's an Assassin's Creed game, but I'm somewhere and stuff and people are happening. I'm like, oh yeah, I thought I heard something about this. I'm like, neat.
I think I know what you're talking about, but yeah.
It's in the title of the game, kind of. Well, not really. Well, we kind of you already know the lore and mythology of this game, so go figure. Think about it for a sec. You kind of know what, because actually, one of my favorite things about this game is when you assassinate people, it brings back those death scenes that the old games
from
have.
The old style.
Yeah, where you
what was the last game that did that? I know 4 did it.
Where you have the last words with the person you assassinated. So whether it be the zealots or the ancient or the order of the ancients, which is it's the Templars, right? Before they're the Templars.
Right.
It goes in a really cool black weird space, and you're having conversations with them even though you've already killed them. They're so cool.
It's essentially the loading screen, right?
Yeah, the loading screen, but there's all kinds of weird trippy stuff happening.
Glitches and yeah.
And some of them are happy to have met their end, and others are
no,
upset. I had plans. You ruined they're neat. They're neat interactions, right?
Yeah.
And some of them don't even realize they're dead, which is it's neat. It's you're talking to their spirit or something, and
right.
Anyway, it's kind of cool. I really like those. So I really like taking the big targets out because that's cool. But
Fair
yeah, I
enough.
like Valhalla. I feel like a lot of people haven't talked about it at all. Like it just got passed by,
Like I
I
said,
guess, because
I have
everyone assumed it was just another AC game, and we're like, oh, we're good.
I think I honestly like I don't know. Like I said, like I'm wondering if more people are having a similar experience like me, where it's like they're enjoying it when they're playing it, but it hasn't like got hooks
I
in deep.
think, I just think when it came out, there's just it came out, then like COD came out, and then Immortals came out, but then I think everyone was like so like steadying themselves to play Cyberpunk.
Yeah, and I also think that you have like there was all the hype from the new consoles that was happening at the
Yeah,
same
but then
time,
no
and
one
it
like
kind of
a
got
lot of people didn't go back, or they just never actually beat it.
yeah, I don't
Or
know.
like, I'm really liking it. Ivor is great. The female Ivor, I
Yeah, she's
really
cool.
like her. She gets better and better. She's pretty fucking awesome. Like she's a
Yeah,
strong character. The voice actor is fantastic, and you know,
it's funny because this has actually made me want to go back and play Origins. So go figure. But
anyway.
games. Speaking of different and new exciting video games that are old, I've started playing Dragon's Dogma:
What
Dark
the? How,
Arisen.
what? Why and how and where?
I at some point I must have picked it up on a Steam sale
Was it
because
not free somewhere?
I mean, it may have been free at some point on like PlayStation Plus or something for like the PS3 or the PS4, probably PS3. Um, because this is the Dark Arisen is like the remaster kind of. It's like there's
Was it also like extra DLC or something? Like
yeah,
Game
it's
of the
got
Year
kind of
type
it's the game of the
edition?
year with like everything in it. Um, that game it's a
That's
shame
not a
that I
place.
think I'm
That's a
coming to it as
PS.
late
That's
as I
a
am.
PS3 360 game.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, it's
And then it
almost
got
10,
kind
it's
of like I
almost
said,
10
like
years old.
yeah, then the Arisen stuff came out in like was it like 2017?
Really?
2016, 2017, I think is when the Dark Arisen stuff happened. Where it got like kind of a like I said, it's not like a full like remaster or anything, but like they did some work on it and really re-released it on PC and stuff. Um that game's interesting because it's like it's I mean
Oh,
it's an
Dark
action
Arisen is
RPG.
2013.
Okay, so
The
it's
original is 2012. Later
interesting.
ported to
Okay.
Windows in 2016,
There it is.
PS4 and Xbox One in 2017,
Okay. So yeah,
and
so this was
Nintendo
the one
Switch
that
in 2019.
yes, it just came out on the Switch this year. So I'm playing the 2016 version. Um it's an action RPG. You're running around. It's got pretty decent combat. The story is very intriguing. The whole concept is that like this dragon appears out of nowhere and destroys this like town, and you're one of the townspeople, and you stand up to the dragon, but instead of like just destroying your ass like it does everybody else, it somehow it's like it takes your heart. And so the rest of the game, from what I'm gathering so far, is that you're trying to chase after the dragon to try and figure out like what the hell's going on. So you got this big scar on your chest where like you can see where the like dragon literally like rips out your heart. Um, and you're called like the chosen, and people are you seem to be special. I haven't really noticed as to why yet, besides the fact that you're kind of a badass. Um, you can
This is
obviously choose the different classes, but like there's this whole idea of like these followers that they're not fully human, but they're not fully not human. And you have the charisma and the drive for them to follow you. And so they're like companions, and you can have up to, I think it's 3 of them, and they go on. It's like having companions that go with you on the quests,
yeah.
right? And as you play, they level up. You can assign them gear and so on and so forth. And then as you come across, you can like hire new ones. And they actually are useful, which is nice. And then, of course, the other big thing about it is that when you fight these great big beasts, you can actually like climb them like you would in what the hell was Shadow of the Colossus, where
Yeah.
you're like climbing up the beasts and stuff like that, and trying to like hack at their eyes or their weak spots or whatever, which is a neat like idea. It's a shame because it's one of those things where you can like so much of it holds up pretty well, but there's a whole other aspect of it where you're like, man, I can really tell that this game is from 2011 or 2012, and you're like, you know what I mean? Like
That's
just
that's where Dark Arisen was like it was an improvement to some of the like stuff, right?
Yeah.
The gameplay, it says here, like they modified it, made it better.
Yeah, there was some quality of life changes. It sounds like they made some changes to like enemy locations and things like that in certain places, changed up some boss fights. Like there's, like I said, they tweaked it. It's not really a remaster, but it's like they took another pass at it. It's the EX version of the game, kind of an idea. You know what I mean?
Did you know?
So,
they just released an anime for this last year in September.
Yes, it's on Netflix. Actually, I've started watching it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm like, that's
it's
neat.
Interesting because it like the beginning of the anime is very much in line with the beginning of this game, actually. So, so there you go. So it's like the story is really interesting. It's very dark, and I want to keep playing it, but there's like
dark is part of the title.
I know, but it's a little difficult just because like there is some of that jank and that weirdness from games
kind of dark. Is it kind of Dark Souls-y?
A little bit. It's definitely not nearly as difficult as Dark Souls. There's a little bit of a like kind of a like there's a combat system. It's not, like I said, it's not nearly as difficult as a Dark Souls. It's not easy though either, I will say that. I've got my ass. I went down into. So one of the things that drives me crazy about this game is that you have a level, your companions have levels, enemies obviously have levels, but none of that stuff is floated to the player. So like, I don't know if I'm in an area I'm not supposed to be in, outside of like going and attacking something and then finding out afterwards, like, oh shit, I ain't doing any damage to this guy. I should probably not be here.
Is there but there's like, no indication, no like, skulls, like no nothing.
It doesn't. No, not that I've noticed. So like I got myself into a situation, you know, I was like, oh, I'll go down the well. I'm in this area. Like I'll go do this thing. I feel
like that's like a really bad faux pas that could like turn people off your game. Because if they try to brute force it and you're not supposed to be there, then some people just drop the game and never come back.
And like you look at Dark Souls, for example, is like if you're not supposed to be in an area, they fucking let you know. Like they'll one shot your ass. Like, you know what I mean? Like some enemy will just walk up and like breathe on you.
It's pretty obvious. They don't do the skulls and stuff, but
no. So
it's also
so yeah. So that is one thing I will say. I think if I'm gonna keep playing this, and I'm not sure, because like my understanding is it is quite a large game, and like you could definitely drop a lot of time into it. But what I was thinking, what I might do is just kind of mainline it and not really worry about the side stuff, because so far a lot of the side stuff that I've seen is just kind of fetch quests, and like it's not great. Because like, you know, it's a world from 2011, 2012, right? So it's not super filled out. It's a little bit sparse. But that said, like there is some really neat mechanics. I would love to see them make a new one with you know, today's technology and stuff.
With today's technology,
maybe Capcom will just take Deep Down and it'll turn into Dragon's Dogma.
I thought Deep Down was Dragon's Dogma.
Like did they ever officially cancel Deep Down?
I don't think so. I have some.
Because that was a PS3 announced title.
I thought it was like I think it was supposed to come out for PS4. I have some gameplay of Dragon's Dogma on the screen, even though we're like probably pretty much done talking about it. Probably could have got a little...
Like I said, it's a cool game. It's got some really neat ideas. I think I may have come at it just a little too late. Is the problem.
You can
which
pause
is
the
shame.
action when you're in combat, or is that just a spell?
You can. It might be a spell.
Oh, okay, yeah, it's just third person, like real time.
Yeah,
it does look kind of neat. That's what I'm playing. Is third person,
kind of big, open world ish, you know. So, and that's the other thing. Like, they do the older game, which is both. I understand why they do it, but it's also very annoying for somebody who doesn't have time to just spend running around looking for the thing that I'm supposed to be doing. They're not great about showing you where the thing is that you're supposed to go do.
Oh, they got the bad sign posting.
And you're like, okay, cool. I'm supposed to go do this thing. It's like, oh, well, where is that? Like, oh, it's somewhere over there.
Figure it out, asshole.
Great. Thanks a lot. Like, I'm just going to run around in circles till I fucking find it, because I've got that kind of time on my hands. And like
they don't even put an indicator on the map?
No, they kind of give you an area, but it's like, you know, it's not great. And you're kind of like, okay, awesome.
Thanks.
Yeah. So there's, you know, but like I said, it's a game from 2012. So, I mean, you know, you kind of got to cut it some slack, right? So we'll see. It's one of those things where, like, I want to keep playing it. I want to like it because I think there's something real special there.
People really like it. It's got like a cult following, like, or not a cult following,
like
but
I said,
it's
I can see why. Like, there's those moments of real specialness that shine through, especially the boss battles and
when
stuff.
You're fighting
like,
the big stuff, crazy. When you're fighting the big creatures, is what I heard a lot of people like really give this game a lot of praise about. They really liked it and said it was unique.
For sure.
Cool.
So, yeah.
Well, Dane keeping it real with the classic games from 10 years ago.
Look, things get installed on my machine. I don't know what happens. The next thing I know, I'm playing.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that. We all have gigantic backlogs, and it's good because you just reminded someone out there. It's like, oh yeah, I always meant to play that fucking game.
Now I want to see them like do a new one. Now
I thought I heard them talk about doing a sequel to it already, like that it's potentially going to happen because it's done pretty well.
Yeah.
Dane, with that, shall we get into our news? The news. This isn't so much a story, but an article I felt like sharing from IGN.
All right.
By the editors of IGN.
Okay.
Well, it says Jordan Serrani. Serrani? Don't know who the fuck that is. They have so many new faces at IGN. Anyway, it's just a compilation of all the big games coming in 2021 that, you know, from the Xbox reveals and PlayStation reveals and other trailers, delays, yada yada. You know, life's been busy and we've been distracted and we're not exactly you may have been like, oh yeah. So anyway, they basically break down. I think it's in like a release date kind of order. At least stuff that's confirmed, and stuff that you know, we don't know. They obviously just tack it in after all the stuff that we do have dates for.
Or at least we have hopeful dates for.
Yeah, it's just a good reminder of like shit that's coming out. You know, like Hitman 3 comes out next week.
Yeah, that game's soon.
The Medium on Xbox is, you know, the end of the month. A reminder about the Mario World and Bowser's Fury in February, yada yada. Anyway, I'm not going to go over this whole list, but if you want to know what's coming and go like, oh yeah, or have something to look forward to, I feel like this is not bad. And they've got, I do also
want to point out that you should, if you do go through this list, take every single one of these release dates with a grain of salt, because it seems like everything these days is getting pushed and moved, and it seems like COVID has done a real number on.
Yeah, because Far Cry was
awful lot of games.
Far Cry was supposed to come out in February, right? And then it got delayed.
I don't know that they ever gave it like an official release.
Oh,
It was supposed to be like they had said. I thought they'd said first quarter, but now they've kind of walked that back.
Yeah, they're saying April 2021 to March 2022. God damn it.
Yeah, so
I could use a Far Cry.
rumored release.
Mass
Yeah.
Effect. Oh yeah, Mass Effect Gran Turismo 7. Oh boy, we got some good. Next year's gonna be a good year.
Yeah.
We got some
What
good
are you
shit
talking about
coming.
next year? It's this year, buddy.
Yeah.
We're in 2021 now.
God damn it. We're in 2021. 2020 was just the longest, shortest, bestest, worstest year fucking ever.
Yeah.
Anyway, check that out if you want to be reminded of what's coming. Actually, you know what? CES happened. Everyone's down in Vegas getting drunk. You know what? All the big media events and like tech press event. Oh wait, no, it's all virtual.
Yeah.
And who cares? CES, whatever. But I think I don't know if this was like tied to CES or just happened to happen this week. But basically, Lucasfilm Games is back. All the Star Wars games or Lucasfilm stuff and the Star Wars stuff is going to be under this new old Lucasfilm
well, it
Games
is new
brand.
because this did kind of go away, right? Like Lucasfilm.
Yeah, it was gone. You know, it was done.
Yeah.
So it's instead of Lucas Arts, it's Lucasfilm Games.
Yeah.
And this story was from VG247 by Dom Pupiat.
Sure.
I've never read that name before. So yeah, it was announced on StarWars.com, and then they're like, "Yeah, we're gonna have more stuff to talk about." And then that was Monday, and then come Tuesday, Bethesda announced they're doing an Indiana Jones game. So this is one of the first games under the Lucasfilm banner. Obviously,
it's interesting because my understanding, and like I don't know if this is a situation where the deal has changed, or because this game is going to come out after the deal has expired, that they can get away with this. Because like my understanding was in 2013 they signed a 10-year exclusivity deal with EA
for Star Wars.
For Star Wars,
we're talking about the Indiana Jones game right now, so you're jumping to the next story.
Okay, we could have just bundled these together. You know,
they are together. So yes, okay. A new Star Wars game was also announced, but it doesn't come out until 2023 apparently. So
right,
it comes out after the exclusivity deal. So that
I was just surprised that they would be like
announcing
even though it's coming out after their exclusivity deal like is ended. I'm surprised that they'd kind of be allowed to and. Do you know what I mean? Like it kind of feels weird.
You know what's weird to me is that you're fucking announcing a Star Wars game like that we know nothing about 2-3 years from now. Still, that annoys me because it's the same fucking expectation hype bullshit. That I get it. I don't know if they're doing it for. They must be doing it to boost stocks or something. I don't know. Like, why do you make an announcement like this so early?
I think what it has to do with is that you announce that that's what's happening at that studio, and when they don't announce Division 3, people go, "Oh, right, because they're working on the Star Wars game." Because that's the thing, right? Like they announced that Massive Entertainment, that's the studio that has done the Division and the Division 2, they're going to be using their Snowdrop engine to build a new Star Wars game. All they've said is that it's an open world Star Wars game.
And that was announced today.
Games. And yes, sorry, I jumped ahead. Bethesda announced the Indiana Jones
game. Indiana Jones was announced yesterday, and people were like rumoring that they're going to announce something tomorrow on Thursday and then something on Friday. I don't know. That seems pretty crazy, but who knows?
I mean,
they might.
Yeah, who knows?
EA has come out and said after this announcement that hey, we got a couple more Star Wars games coming, so you know it's not like we're fucking done, assholes. We know y'all hate us, but
my question is does this mean that like we're not going to get another Jedi Outcast 2?
Outcast, or you Fallen?
Sorry,
Order?
Fallen Order.
No, the rumor I heard, the Fallen Order is probably going to be one of the other games coming out of EA.
Yeah.
Probably,
I would
probably
really like
next.
to see that studio.
I would assume next year.
I would love to see that studio, like, you know, now that they've kind of got the formula down a little bit, have another kick at the can and, like, you know, give it a little bit more polish and whatnot. I think it could be killer.
Speaking of which, Fallen Order, this also
just got
falls
its next gen update.
Yeah, this story from Gamatsu from Sol Romano. Yeah, they released the next gen optimization update. Is out now. So higher res, faster frame rate. From what I heard, I think it's 60 FPS now, or you got a performance mode at least to get 60 FPS.
Frame rate has been increased to 60 FPS, up from 45 on the Series X. On the Series S. On the Series X, frame rate has been increased to 60 FPS. Dynamic resolution added in the range of 1080p to 1440p. That's in the performance mode. And then in the normal mode, they're also doing post-processing increased to 4K and dynamic resolution in the range of 1512p to 2160p, which is 2160p is 4K. PlayStation 5 frame rate has been increased to 60 FPS. Post-processing increased to 1440p, and dynamic resolution has been disabled, and the game is rendering at 1200p, up from 800 to 1080p. So interesting.
I think I played it on frame rate mode on my One X. You played on PC, right?
I did. I played through it on PC.
So you already played the 60 FPS mode.
Yeah. That was honestly kind of the way to play that when it first came out, because it was a lot less buggy and issue-y on PC. Like,
I got that game cheap. I think I got that game cheap on an E3 sale or something for like $50. That's the only reason I played it on console versus PC.
It was part of my EA Origin year.
Yeah, that's right. I
had the EA Origin for the year, and I played through it when it came out, which was
I might
dope.
go back and check it out when I have some time. That was a great fucking game.
Isn't it coming to, or is it on Game Pass, I want to say?
It might be. You're part of the EA
because of the EA
portion.
Yeah, because the EA Origin stuff.
It might be now because it's over a year, so it may be part of their vault or whatever.
Yes, I believe it is.
I'm not entirely
So you
clear.
should be able to play that on the console Game Pass. I don't think it's on PC Game Pass.
Yeah. So the one thing about the Indiana Jones announcement, it's Machine Games, so Wolfenstein fame.
I'm super curious. Like, initially, I heard Indiana Jones, and my first thought was third person,
or a point and click adventure,
but Uncharted. You know,
or the really old Indiana Jones was like point and click.
Yeah, there you go. But I was thinking to myself, like, what if they did do like a first-person Indiana Jones game? Like, that would be kind of interesting.
What if they do a freaking Uncharted game with actual Indiana Jones and it's an Xbox exclusive? These are some of the things people have been like rummaging about. It'd be neat.
Yeah, it would be weird because at that point, I wonder if like Machine Games would be able to make a game that would be as good as the game that was based on Indiana Jones that became its own thing that is like almost out Indiana Jones to Indiana Jones at this point. Do you know what I mean?
Like we might have like a space-time continuum fucking like blip, and the world might add some weirdness.
Because like clearly Uncharted is like fucking Indiana Jones and everything but name, just about.
Yeah. And so like kind of like so is Tomb Raider, but
yeah,
I wonder.
Yeah, that's true.
Did they haven't said anything? Original story, not based on an existing film.
Yep.
They didn't say anything about what's his nuts, Harrison Ford being involved,
giving his likeness or anything. No, not to my knowledge.
Or voice.
All they've said was that Todd Howard is going to be.
He's old, and does he like Indiana Jones and just hate Star Wars?
Who?
Harrison Ford. Because Harrison Ford hates Han fucking Solo. Like, he hates Star Wars.
He doesn't.
Like, he doesn't give a shit about Star Wars.
No, he doesn't.
Dude, have you not seen him in interviews? He
I
does
think
not give a shit about Star Wars. Like, people
for somebody
ask him
who doesn't give a shit, I think if he didn't give a shit, he wouldn't have came back for the sequels.
Well, he asked to be killed off,
fact.
so they did what they wanted, so he could be done with the fan base, because I think he hates the fan base.
I think, look, I think that he likes the character, and it wouldn't surprise me if he hates the fan base.
In the original trilogy, and I think he loved the ride at the start, but in the last few decades, I think he's just been like soured on it all because of the stupid, because of the rabid fan base.
That wouldn't surprise me at all.
So that's where he's like, he doesn't give a fuck anymore. He's just like, Star Wars, whatever. He's like, fuck, Fans are idiots.
Well, he's dead now, so he doesn't have to worry about it.
Yeah, it's what he wanted. He wanted to
But
be
my
killed.
understanding is that he's making another Indiana Jones movie right now.
Well, Indiana, so he must like Indiana Jones. I don't know. That's what I don't know what his attitude towards Indiana Jones is like. But I know in Star Wars he like despises Star Wars, or he just really just doesn't give a flying fuck about it at all. He just shows up for the paycheck. I think he was actually asking, if I believe I heard this correctly, he was asking to be killed in Return of the Jedi even.
Indiana Jones and the Sanctuary of the Black Order. 2021.
Anyway, it's cool. Cool news. Lucasfilm Games, whatever. Looking forward to that. I hope they don't make a fucking Division Star Wars game.
Yeah.
The massive thing. I hope it's something actually different. I could go for a cool bounty hunter open world game. That would be fucking cool.
There's so many ways they could go that
I
think
said
would be rad.
in the Discord, like if I was a betting man, just because of Massive's like portfolio, would be like a clone trooper like squad type game. Basically, Star Wars Division.
I mean, that would be kind of cool.
I would love to.
Cool, like, did you ever play? What was it? The Commando one.
The Republic Commando.
Yeah, Republic Commando was a cool game.
I didn't play it. I believe it's in my pile of shame somewhere back there.
It's not a super long game, and you have a squad with you the whole time. Republic Commando. It's cool. I would totally be down to see them do something with like a team or whatever, and you're doing something like that. I think that would be rad.
Yeah.
But I'm interested to see. I mean, I'm not gonna jump on a hype train fucking 3 or 4 years before release, because who the fuck knows what's gonna happen. But I think I'm interested to see obviously more studios than just EA have access to this property and the other properties as well. You know, Indiana Jones, obviously. And I'll be super curious to see what ends up happening. I mean, the only bummer about this stuff is it's neat that they're announcing it, but it sucks because this stuff is so far away.
Yeah. It's a couple
3, 4, 5 years. Who knows? You know what I mean? Like it's a long ways away.
This next story from VG247 from Dom again. Awesome games done quick. 2021 raised over 2.7 million for charity.
Wow.
I know you guys shared someone, I want to say Darth, maybe it was NT, I'm not sure, on the Discord, shared a clip of someone speedrunning fucking Mario blindfolded.
Yeah, there's some cool stuff.
The TV was behind the fucking guy.
Yeah.
That's really fucking cool. Or really fucking sad, depending how you look at it. Because, like, Jesus Christ, the amount
it has to be timing, right? Like, he has to like have one of those things where like it's just in.
He's played the level so many fucking times, and he does the exact same motions every time.
Right.
That it's just straight memorization.
Right.
He knows when he's
cool though.
Yeah, so it's like he's not even playing a game. He's just playing a sequence of motions on the controller. And he has it so memorized. Like, that's fucking crazy. That's insane.
Yeah.
Stupid. It's awesome. And it's stupid. And awesome games done quick is fun. The breaking games, speedrunning shit, taking advantage of glitches. There's always some cool highlight that comes out of these every time they do one.
Oh, for sure.
I think did they do it quarterly or like twice a year? I feel like they do it quarterly. It seems to be like pretty frequent.
I want to say it used to be once a year, then it was twice a year. Now I feel like it might be quarterly.
Yeah, I think it might be 3 or 4 times now. So yeah,
it was in different locations, was my understanding, at least before.
So they did
now with everything being online, they're like, well, sweet.
This event did 2.7, but I heard that total these guys have raised something like $30 million.
It wouldn't surprise me.
That's pretty freaking crazy. It's pretty cool. They're like easily like one of the biggest like gaming charities. Like they're surpassing a lot of the pre-existing ones so far.
Yeah,
but it's fun. Like, I don't know, like Loading Ready Run does the desert bus thing. It's like they play the one game and keep going as long as they get pledges, which is it's kind of neat. but I don't know when there's other charity streams, but this one just is like the most varied because it's a little bit of something for everyone. It's so many different games they play, and there's always some new like thing that the speedrunners is. They're always trying to put a different twist on some of these runs, right? Like,
and there's always something for everybody. Like that's the thing is like there's some people are doing some mobile game shit, some people are doing their Fortnite nonsense, some people are doing their, you know what I mean? Like there's some people are doing like old school TD speed run, like 2D speed runs, and some people are doing like new shit. Like so it's always, you know, what do you kind of want to watch, or what do you want to like, what are you interested in? You know what I mean? So I think it's always neat.
I think that's why that's why they're so successful. It's not just one thing, and it's not the same thing every time.
Yeah.
Whereas some of the other charities are just they do the yearly same thing all the time, right? So they keep it fresh. It's kind of cool. This next story from Kotaku by Nathan Grayson. Spanish streamer I
don't watch him, so I don't know.
I don't know how the fuck you pronounce this. I want to say Greg, but it's Greg with an F in it. The Gref?
Yeah.
Or is it just the Gref? Or the Gref G? I don't know. I've never watched him. He looks very animated. The picture here is him screaming, wearing a funny suit. Streamer.
Is he a showcaster? Or does he just stream a lot in his streams?
He's a fucking streamer, Fortnite streamer. I think he was celebrating, announcing, I guess an icon
getting his own character.
Yeah, kind of like Ninja.
Yeah, he was revealing his official Fortnite skin.
So the gist of it is he's hands down like the world record holder for like most people watching him, like beating Ninja and Drake when they were like streaming.
Yeah, he managed to break the record for most concurrent viewers on an individual stream. A record that, according to some measures he previously held, he topped out at a nearly 2.5 million. A new all-time record that beats not just individual channels, but entire games. So there you go.
Fucking crazy. Congratulations. You know, they kind of in the story, they talk about how, like, if you haven't noticed on Twitch, a lot of the top streaming positions have been taken over by like Spanish or other countries, like streamers like that. You know, we aren't even very familiar with. That streaming is really starting to take off in some other countries besides just North America, or just people tuning into North American viewers.
Right.
Because, you know, the world's huge and there's a lot of people out there, and more than just people who speak English.
Yep.
So there's big bases and guys smashing records. Like, congratulations. I don't know who the fuck he is. I've never heard of him
I've never heard of him, but
clearly he's
just very popular.
Clearly he's fucking huge, because you don't get a following like that overnight.
Yeah, no kidding. Jeez, that's crazy.
That's cool. Congratulations. I don't know if he's a dickhead or not, because I really don't know anything about him. That'll be the next stories, will be the downfall, or when he said something bad or did something bad. So stay tuned for that. Seems kind of inevitable.
True. I mean, like that he's a decent guy.
Yes. Yes. I hope so. He's Spanish, though. He's already got that strike going against him.
Uh-oh. Oh, boy.
I kid. One of my best friends is a Spaniard. He's a fucker. I mean, he's a good guy. Yeah, actually, he's a really good guy. I love him. This story
It's finally happening. It's finally happening.
This next story from VG247 by Alex Donaldson. Google Stadia is getting native smart TV app, which is exactly what game streaming needs. Hey, we talked about this for a long time. Who's going to do this first? Stadia.
Apparently LG is going to do it first with Stadia and the NVIDIA Shield app. So there you go.
Also related, I don't think is it in this story? I don't think it's in this story, but GeForce Now is also coming.
That's what I said.
Oh, you said NVIDIA Shield, so.
Sorry, I meant the GeForce Now.
Yes.
They announced that, so this was coming to all their 2021 TVs. They have said that there will be updates happening for WebOS 5 devices from 2020 as well. So if you bought a TV in 2020 and if it's a WebOS 5 device, it will more than likely.
So we have to imagine that the xCloud or Game Pass streaming is coming too eventually. Seems kind of inevitable.
You would think. I mean,
Is it
there's been rumors
is
that
it the
Microsoft's been talking
manufacturers
about it.
just looking to expand reasons for people to want to buy their TVs, since like 8K is not really this year's like selling point? Or is it just the smart? Do you think it's a combination of smart TV hardware being a little more powerful,
I
or
think it's
just
a bit
these
of both.
or
I
deals
think
that have been just taking a while to get to happen?
yeah, I think it's. I mean, I think it's all of the above, really. But I think it's a way for them to try and differentiate. Like, hey, LG's really been pushing recently, like their TVs are gaming TVs, especially their OLEDs. Like, most of even Sony, strangely enough, Sony
Yeah.
and Microsoft both seemingly, if you were looking to review stuff, especially the Microsoft side of things. Like, I know some of the bigger reviewers and stuff, like Microsoft was sending out Xbox Series X's, but then they were also sending out TVs to play them on, and those were OLED,
Damn.
like LG OLEDs.
Man, I wasn't on that list. Shit.
Yeah, me neither. But so I mean, I know that, like, LG as of late has been really pushing, like, these are the best TVs to play video games on.
I heard some disappointing news that some of the Sony TVs, they said they're not getting the variable refresh rate updates that they they alluded to.
Not true.
That
that was a bunch of reporting that was happening, and then Sony made official statements saying that those
that's
reports
not
were false, and that the TVs that they had announced were going to be getting them will still be getting them.
Still be getting it. Was there just a delay and someone misinterpreted it?
Yeah, it's one of those situations where, so to walk this back a little bit, just so that everybody else is on the same page, Sony announced that they released 2 TVs last year over the 2020
in the fall, right? They weren't.
They came out in the summer.
Did they come out in the summer? Okay.
Yep.
So they're the ones with HDMI 2.1, and then everyone figured.
So it was the 900H, which was the affordable TV, and then their 8K set, which, like, let's be honest, nobody gives a shit because fucking 8K.
Yeah.
So the 900H was their only TV that they announced with HDMI 2.1. They were saying that it was quote unquote PlayStation 5 ready. Mm-hmm. Which was hilarious because they released the TV in like June or July of last year, but because HDMI 2.1 hadn't been fully like sorted out
standardized
yet, they said that it will be coming in a future update. So then they announced the future update, which they released the 4K 120 hertz and the game mode and things like that. But people realized that the VRR, variable refresh rate, and I think there was one other thing was missing still. And so then what ended up happening was, in certain areas of the world, Sony had apparently in their documentation removed stuff saying that this was still coming.
Yeah.
So it was a bit of a clusterfuck. Like, in some areas it was like it was still saying that it was coming, and in other areas it was seemingly missing. At least here in North America, Sony has absolutely come out. They released a statement earlier today that said, like, hey, no, variable refresh rate, that all that stuff is still coming. Don't worry about it. Like, it's taking longer than we thought, but it is definitely on the way. That is still coming.
During the pandemic, adding major features is something difficult that they can't do overnight.
Yeah, and they claim, of course, that it's taken them longer because the standardization hadn't been fully ratified yet, and they wanted to wait that, once that was 100% sorted, then from there they could move forward with their actual implementation and so on and so forth. So, but yeah, that is coming.
Okay, that's good, because that sounded like some people were pretty upset. They did announce that CES, it's not fucking CES, virtual CES, that
we'll just call it for CES for all intents and purposes.
We're in next year, god damn it! I'm going to do that a couple times more. All Sony's TVs this year also going to be Google TV. So, which is kind of nice. So that pushes me towards an OLED Sony TV over an LG TV.
Yeah,
personally, I'm not really in the market because, to be honest, the only thing these new TVs have that I don't have is the 120, is the VRR, and I just
variable refresh rate.
Yeah, and I don't think I'm going to buy a new TV until the micro LEDs are more affordable.
Yeah, watching CES, it's interesting because, like, I'm beginning to wonder if, like, I think OLED is killer, and I think that at the end of the day, I think that it might hold the that is the best image quality. But with image degradation and burn-in possibilities and things like that, now that they're offering the mini LED backlit TVs with the quantum dot and stuff, I'm wondering if it's going to be worth spending $1,000 more for an OLED when that technology, like, you can have so many backlight, like we're talking like 2,500 like mini LEDs in the back of your TV to light up certain areas to keep, because like that's the big thing about like OLEDs that's so amazing, right? Is that like obviously when you turn off a pixel, it's turned off.
Yeah, you get that
And having
that
that
insane
many
contrast
zones,
ratio.
right? And but the thing is with the mini LEDs having that many areas and so on and so forth, it's not going to be quite as good. But we're talking, you're getting within 90% of the quality of like an OLED. But the one thing that OLEDs can't do is they can't get super bright. And especially for me, my TV is in a room with giant floor, like I got giant 10-foot tall windows
You have a lot of
on,
fucking light.
and even when the blinds are closed in the middle of the summer and on a bright sunny day, like it gets pretty bright in there. It gets hard.
Yeah.
Right. So the thing is like, as much as I would love to get an OLED, for me, if I can get 90% of the way to an OLED as far as image quality and, all the other features that I need, HDMI 2.1, full compatibility, VRR, blah, 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 4K, colors are all there, HDR is there. Like, and the other thing too is like, especially with HDR, being able to get brighter is going to be better for your HDR, because you're going to have that contrast, right? So
I do love my TV.
So we'll see. This year's gonna be really interesting for as far as TVs go, just because of that. Like, I was kind of in the market. I was kind of keeping track of what was going on in that area.
I told my wife I was gonna buy an LED, and she's like, "If you buy a TV, I'm gonna fucking hit you." And I'm like, I have the money. Like, I'm not gonna use any of our money. It's like, it's my money. And she's like, "You don't need a fucking TV." Like, she was just like, I've never had her be so dead serious with me before.
Yeah,
she's
that's
like,
funny.
and she's kind of right. Like, I don't need to spend $2,000 just for one fucking feature. Because the problem is it's my office TV, so it's not like I can go to a 65-inch.
Right.
I could, but I really like the setup in my office with the display cases next to the TV. Sure. And if I go bigger, that would wreck that, because I wouldn't be able to do that anymore. So and I don't really need it, because I'm like 6 feet away from my 55-inch, like barely, like not even, like I'm not that far away from it. It's an office. It's
so like I would like to go bigger. I'm running just a 1080p TV still, and like, so I would love to go 4K, but at this point, I'm honestly just gonna wait this year and see, like, once the actual, because they announce all this shit at CES, and it takes them fucking 6 months to actually come out anyways.
Everyone who is buying a TV right now, though, you can't fucking go wrong. The value TVs are such a good proposition. Like the TCL shit, you get some pretty awesome bang for the buck for so little. And then obviously the OLED stuff's just fucking amazing.
The OLED stuff is crazy, but it's a lot of money, and like I feel like they've hit a weird spot where they've just, normally technology, the cost of that stuff continues to trickle down, and like I feel like OLEDs have just kind of been like locked in at roughly the same cost that they have been.
Yeah, I think it's
for the last several years,
like,
and it's like
$1,700 or $1,800 for like the CX 55-inch or something. Maybe it's 17.
I've been looking.
Maybe it's.
I've been looking at the 65s, and I know that it's essentially $2,500.
Yeah, $2,500.
That's the thing, right?
$2,600, $2,500.
Yeah, if you get a sale, it's closer to $2,500. But if it's not on sale, it's closer to like $2,700 to $3,000, and it's like that's a lot of money.
I'm looking at a 55. I don't know.
So I'm super curious to see, Sony has announced their their mini OLED, their mini LEDs. LG has announced their mini LED TVs. Samsung has also announced their mini LED TVs. So I want to see the reviews for all those TVs and go up against OLED, see how close we're coming. Because like I said, if you're getting 90% of the way to an OLED, but it's still $1,000 less, and you don't have burn-in. You don't have the
that
pixel
makes me kind of
degradation that you
paranoid
end up on like OLED.
I play a lot of video
That's
games
awesome.
and I pause them and leave them because the kids, and that scares
That would be
me.
bad for you.
I have an LG and I hate WebOS. I don't know
Yeah,
what
I'm not
version
the
I
biggest
have.
fan.
I don't know if I have 5. I probably have 4 because I think my LG is a year, maybe 2 years old.
Okay.
But it's not an OLED. It's just a fucking
Just
about
one
a
of their,
cheap
like,
TV for the living room.
LEDs.
About a cheap one for the. Well, it wasn't cheap. It was still like I think $1,000 or $1,200. Like, so it's not a piece of crap, but it's a 4K with HDR and yada yada. It's a mid-tier LG, not OLED though. For the living room.
It's one of like their like nano LEDs or whatever.
For the wife, because like it's for the living
Sure.
room. I barely watch anything in there. It looks great when watching 4K shit on it. Like, it's a good looking TV. It's not as good as my TV, but my TV's
of course not.
Mine's a QLED 8 series Samsung. It's a really nice fucking TV. It's beautiful. I love it. Like playing Valhalla on it, it's like, this looks awesome. That's where I'm like, I don't really care for the 120 because so few games use the 120, and if you're doing 120, you're losing RTX or ray tracing and all the bells and whistles. Like, let's be honest. So it's like, so it also makes that argument to me like not very like, why? Like maybe if I hooked up my TV to it, I do have a cord going from my computer. I mean, my TV to it, my computer to it.
There's that.
I would take advantage of that.
Or if you're playing multiplayer, right? You want the higher frames in multiplayer. So if you're playing like Call of Duty or something and you want to have all the frames and not as much of the
not on console
pretty shit, who cares, right?
On my PC.
So
this next story from Game Industry Biz. It's not really
actually it's from Twitter.
It's not much of a story. It's just them posting a link from Twitter directly from the source. Hogwarts Legacy has been delayed out of 2021 into 2022. I know a lot of people were pretty disappointed.
I was bummed out. But I'd rather them release it and it be good.
So. Yeah, don't fuck around, man. Make it good.
Yep.
Take your time.
Make it good. It has the potential to be so cool.
And of course, don't look at the Twitter thread. It's people fucking crying.
The replies are just toxic
fucking
assholes.
Babies. Speaking of GameIndustry.biz, Rebecca Valentine is leaving.
I saw that.
She is going to IGN.
Wow.
So
good for her.
Yep. I would say that's a very smart fucking move. Very.
Probably, yeah.
Not that anything is wrong with GameIndustry.biz, but they are owned by ReedPop, and ReedPop has been on a closing website spree, and IGN ain't going fucking anywhere anytime soon. So if I was in the games media business and wasn't an independent, very popular streamer, I would be looking to be at the GameSpots and the IGNs for like career, safety.
I mean, apparently not even Giant Bomb is the place that you want to be these days.
Well, they got bought out, so
yeah,
of course that's gonna. I don't know.
There's just a bunch of people leaving, which is funny. So.
This next story from Eurogamer, another CS thing. This is from Wesley and Poole. Of course, Razer's face mask has RGB lighting.
I can't believe we're actually talking about this.
I just thought it was funny. It was on. I brought it. I just bringing it up because it was on the Discord, and everyone was saying I should buy it because it has RGB. Because that's
Project Hazel.
The make fun of me.
Supposed to be.
This is never
it's
coming
supposed to be
out.
an N95. It's a prototype.
It's a clear mask.
Done is it's a smart face mask with RGB lighting and voice amplification.
Yep.
It's supposed to be N95, so the ventilation is actually got filters and stuff like that, so that you're safe. It's got like plastic in the front, so that people can actually see your lips when you talk. It's hilarious because like this thing's not coming out. I mean,
it's
if
never
it does,
out.
it's going to be like so expensive, nobody's going to fucking buy
I just wanted to talk about it because I think it's fucking stupid. I saw that on the Discord, and it just looks like it doesn't even look cool.
I won't lie, this thing looks like something out of Watch Dogs Legion. Like
but it doesn't look
got
cool.
The weird like RGB.
But it doesn't look cool. Like the masks that look cool in Watch Dogs Legion are like the full face masks that like have like the full.
Well, some of them are, but there's some of the smaller
N95
style ones
like,
too.
Man, put a fucking screen on it so you can do like the cool like
Do you want this thing to be $500? Like,
I want it to be fucking cool. If you're gonna make it
dude,
real fucking
if this
cool.
thing comes out, it's got RGB. You're gonna fucking buy it anyways.
I'm not gonna buy it. Well, we're not gonna need fucking masks in a little bit. Like,
oh yeah, right.
It's fucking stupid. Well, maybe for the good part of this year. It made me reminded me. E3 is not fucking happening this year. There's no fucking way E3 is happening.
PAX is on the books this year.
September, that is possible. Canada is supposed to be.
That's what people said last year.
No, but the thing is Canada came out today and pretty much we're all going to be vaccinated by September. But the US is such a fucking disaster right now. Like thousands of cases a day. Most of their ECUs are at capacity. We're just in the start/middle of the second wave, and it is a fucking clusterfuck in the US. Not to mention everything else fucking going on down there right now. But California especially is like,
oh my God,
California is the worst.
Wow, you do not want to be in California right now.
We're January, 2 weeks in.
Oh.
You think in 5 months this shit's gonna be all fucking wiped up with the fucking pay to win health system that the US has? Like, no, no fucking way. E3 is not happening this year. No fucking way. Sorry, guys. ESA, good luck. I think you guys are done. You're gonna run out of money. You're game over. This is gonna be your Hail Mary year this year. I don't think there's gonna be E3.
Yeah,
I was just thinking about it. I was thinking about it today because we'll see. I had plans to go to Disneyland. I should have already gone to Disneyland last week and come back because we were going there for like the Christmas lights and all that shit. Disneyland hasn't reopened since it closed last year.
Nope.
Because California is such a fucking shit show.
Yep.
You know
also,
why?
You can't leave Canada to go there on your fucking family vacation right now.
You know why it's pretty bad too there? It's because a lot of people don't want to get tested or don't want to go to the hospitals, and are getting more people infected because they're not necessarily citizens of the United States.
Also, healthcare isn't free down there. So if you don't have any sort of insurance, you got to pay for that shit. So when you can't afford it, that's a real problem.
I heard a COVID test is like $2,000 or something. I don't know if that's true or not.
No, it's not that much.
But either way, that sounds fucking crazy. Either way, it's expensive.
Yes, it is.
So yeah, E3 is not happening. I didn't go to Disneyland. We delayed our plans to go this summer. I still don't think we're going to go this summer.
Yeah.
I'm fucking dying to go on a vacation, man. Dude,
you sound like my wife. We got to move on. This is exactly the conversation I fucking have with my wife every goddamn day, and I'm tired of it.
We're moving on a fucking year, dude.
Oh, God. I don't care. Let's move past this.
Let's go to Australia. Let's all go to Yuri's house.
God. Next story. CD Projekt Red releases Cyberpunk 2077 apology and roadmap.
Did you watch this?
I did.
It was
the co-founder Marcin Iwinski apologized for Cyberpunk 2077's rough launch and laid out a roadmap for the game's upcoming future.
Hey everyone.
He explains some of the causes for the rough state of the PS4 and the Xbox One version of the game, while noting that responsibility falls to him and the leadership team. He also explains what future development on the open world RPG will look like. Ultimately, they've got so they're pushing the downloadable content patches to later than obviously planned because they want to work on patches on bug fixes, performance, and so on and so forth. We've got the big, what they call the 1.1 update coming within the next 10 days. And then there'll be another 1.2 patch coming in February. And then those are the two that he's naming at this point.
The next gen updates are in the second half of the year.
Yeah, the PlayStation 5 and Xbox One or Xbox Series X next gen patches. We're going to
keep doing that for a while.
I know. To be fair, it's written in the story as Xbox One, so that's what threw me off. So yeah, they're saying second half of 2021 for those, assuming they stay on track. So If you're interested, I go check out the video.
It does say that in the story. They've been doing it in news stories. That's so funny.
Exactly.
See, if you're playing the PS5 or Xbox One and hoping for that next gen pack, wait a minute, Xbox One ain't next gen, motherfuckers.
Yeah.
You fucked up.
So,
do they have comments? Has anyone commented? They don't have comments on this fucking site.
I honestly feel like I didn't learn anything new about what actually happened. He pretty much was just like, yeah, we thought that it was coming along better than it was, and then we launched, and we decided that to launch it anyways. And like
it was, I don't know. I feel like it was a little hollow, and it was a little late. Yeah, and I feel like this should have been like a week or two after launch.
Yeah, this should have been like when
Sony we take apology, or we take ownership. Sorry. Okay, well, you take ownership. So what do you?
Yeah.
You take. Okay, you're responsible for it, but that's it. You're just sorry.
Yeah.
No one resigned. No one quit. You didn't give big bonuses to your employees. You didn't tell us anything.
Well, I mean, it sounds like they did get the bonuses that they were promised. Regardless.
Well, yes, I'm sure they did.
So I mean, I appreciate that.
But
and I mean, I feel like anybody that was been kind of following along, though, they've already known like this was not the development team's fault.
No,
this was absolutely management saying like, let's fucking get this game out there.
We've said that several times ourselves too.
So
I think if they could go back in time, they would have just delayed this game another 3 to 6 months.
Yep.
Because I don't think the damage they did to their reputation now was worth. I don't know. Maybe it was worth 13 million copies of your game selling.
I mean, the one thing that he did say that I thought was interesting was he did talk about how the original plan was to make it awesome on the PC and then scale it down.
Yeah, that was like the first thing he said, which is what it was.
Which is literally what happened. But then he said that they underestimated sort of how difficult it would be to scale down to the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One.
And my experience has been very indicative of that philosophy, right? Like I beat the whole game. I had on PC I had one crash and a couple random like open world game bugs that you would, I've seen more bugs in Fallout and Bethesda games than I have in this game. On Series X, though, I was having tons of crashes and tons of like bugs that were ripping me. Like, remember, I said this game was bad until I moved to PC. But it's just dumb.
Yeah.
Anyway, it sucks. Thanks for the apology. You're like a month late.
Keep working on it. Like I said,
and they will. That's the thing. I bet you in 6 months to a year, gamers will forget. Everyone will love this game. It just sucks that they tarnish the whole group experience because we should be talking about the cool things that happened when you went on that side mission and this side mission, but so many people chose not to play it. And then like you and
right, even people here on our podcast.
And then
whereas before when we were both playing The Witcher 3 on this podcast, we both talked about it for a month because we were both playing it.
Yeah,
right?
And then with on the Discord, Teacup's playing it, but it's hard to talk about publicly, without spoiling stuff. And if we both played it because it was awesome and launched bug free, we could maybe do a spoiler cast. But no, they just the ship sailed and a lot of that stuff, and that kind of sucks. Anyway, moving along. Sony stops nearly all PlayStation 4 shipments for Japan, except for the standard PS4 Slim. This story from Kotaku by Brian Ashcraft. Basically, people are noticing that PS4 Pros and a bunch of various versions of the PS4 have disappeared, and basically you could just get the one iteration of PlayStation 4 standard edition, which makes sense because
Sony literally came out and said that while the company is switching its hardware to focus on the PS5,
he needs to be making
they're
PS4
still offering
Pros.
the PS4, but
you want the value edition for people who can't afford a PS5 because you want it to be a lot cheaper. You don't want a Pro, which is slightly cheaper.
That's the thing, right? It's that's the one thing that kind of boggles my mind about the PS4 still. They never dropped the price on it. There was never an official price drop.
The Pro?
That thing launched at $399. No, even on the regular. The PS4 launched at $399.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Pro launched at $499. And to my knowledge, they never officially like did a price drop on either of those.
Well, when you sell 110 and it's a million and it's the system everyone fucking wants, you don't need to drop your fucking price.
Sure, but my point is at this point, like, you would think with the PS5 coming out that maybe you discontinue the Pro, which that to me makes sense, because if you're already in the market to buy a Pro, you're probably just going to spend the money to buy a PS5.
Do you remember at the start of this generation, Sony saying that they wanted to make money off of hardware?
Sure.
With PS4, and after PS3 was such a fucking stinker and cost them so much fucking money.
Oh yeah.
They're used to making money and they want to just keep making that money.
You cannot tell me that at this point that they've been manufacturing the PS5.
Oh, absolutely not. They've been widening the profit margin for sure.
Sure. But my point is like you cannot tell me that sales haven't been slowing on the PS4.
Oh, they have. Like, they obviously have to be.
So normally, what you would do is you drop the price, and then you'd see this like the people that can't afford it would be able to buy one.
Yeah,
that's how this shit works.
They want everyone to buy a PS5, and when the PS4
Don't you remember by the time the PS3 came out, they were selling PS2s for like $100.
Yeah, the PS4 is still a good system, and I think keeping the price high puts you in that realm where it's like, well, if I just save a little bit more, I'll get a PS5. Not that you could buy a PS5. I don't know what their reasoning is.
Right.
The PS4 is super hot. You don't need to discount super hot shit. That's just how it works.
I guess.
You discount shit nobody wants.
It's like, if at this point, you want to, like, you could drop that thing to like $200, still sell a whole bunch of them.
But it's not. It's still selling at an acceptable level that they don't want to or need to. They aren't our friend. They're a business.
So
yes, if I ran Sony, I would make it super cheap because I'd fucking want to crack 150 million of those things out there.
Yeah.
You think it should be like $99 by now, right? 7 years, like seriously.
I don't.
And it doesn't even have a fucking Blu-ray.
I don't think that's cheap.
Like, it doesn't even have a fucking 4K Blu-ray player in it, so it can't be that expensive.
Well, no, because we're talking about this is the base, right?
Yeah, the base.
But I would have thought that by now that thing would at least be $200.
Oh, absolutely. You are not wrong.
Me,
you're not wrong at all. And everything.
But then again, I'm amazed that the Switch is still $300. So
yeah, but the Switch is amazing. So
moving on.
We got the Switch Pro coming, man. Don't worry about it.
Anybody want to buy a Switch? I'm seriously contemplating selling mine, to be honest. I don't play it enough. There's not nearly enough shit coming out on it that I'm like, this I need to keep. Like, anyways.
I play my Switch.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna keep it, but
I love Switch.
The thought has crossed my mind to get rid
of Switch, I'm probably going to buy a new one soon.
Because you're an idiot.
Tell me something that I don't know.
This next story I find very interesting that everybody is fucking...
This smelled fishy from the fucking get-go.
Dude, I dug so far into this and went down a rabbit hole, and it's wild to me that none of these tech companies are reporting what seems to be the actual fucking story here. So for anybody who doesn't know, there was a company called Super, which announced that they were going to offer PS2-inspired black versions of the Sony PlayStation 5 console, and they were going to do a limited edition run of them. They were only going to offer 500 of them. They were going to cost, I think, like $650 and $750 for the disc and discless. And they announced that those will be going up for sale. They showed like controllers and so on and so forth. Then, of course, they put them up for sale. And if anybody who hasn't been living under a rock has realized, if you put PlayStation 5s up for sale anywhere right now, they're gone in milliseconds.
For any price, regardless.
For any price, pretty much, yeah. Outside of... But, like, there is literally hundreds of Discord groups around the world right now that their whole focus is trying to get a PlayStation 5. And so when you have a company like this saying, like, oh, we're going to sell them for what's not that outrageous of a price, all things considered with the current situation, needless to say, their fucking website went down pretty much immediately. So then, of course, people got mad, obviously. And apparently they started threatening them with bodily harm. So consequently, the international launch of its customized system had been delayed. And so they announced, we have taken these threats seriously. And as a result, we are not proceeding with moving forward. All orders are being canceled with full refunds. The company said, although some customers allege that they have not yet have their money returned to them. So then a bunch of people all started looking into this company that has not really even been a company for very long at all, and who people were unable to get their credit card information off of their website, and they deleted their Twitter account like the next day.
Isn't their website gone too?
The website, like the whole thing, honestly feels like real shady.
Yeah, it
real
was
shady. Like if you were
get-go.
planning to move forward with this, you have the stock, you're gonna do the thing, but you got overrun by this. Wouldn't you say like, okay, well, we're gonna delay this, we're gonna figure out a better solution for this? Instead, you're just gonna cancel the whole thing and you're gonna walk away. It seems real weird. So a lot of people are speculating, and I mean, again, it's speculation, but a lot of people are speculating, like after digging into how long they've been a company, where they're a company, and they're following essentially the money, that this feels an awful lot like a giant scheme to get a bunch of people's information from around the world. And I can't say that I disagree. As an IT professional, this has all the smells of something real dirty, and I would be very nervous if I put my credit card information or any of my information into anything attached with those guys.
I think some of our friends attempted to buy this off the Discord, but I think they failed.
I would be seriously calling my credit card company if it was me, probably changing my credit card number.
I think they failed, so I think they're blessing in disguise.
Yep.
Look cool. So, apparently the images that they were putting around were that they took from Reddit as well. Those weren't even their images.
Hilarious.
Of the console.
Yeah, like the whole thing just, and it's wild to me though that, like, honestly,
like where the fuck are you gonna get 300 fucking PS5s right now?
Well,
and
that was the other thing.
And you're not Sony.
Like, who the fuck is managing to get 500 of these things? Like, yeah. There was just so many. But the thing is that is honestly the wildest part about this to me is, like, even in this story from Vicky Blake at Eurogamer, none of that shit is in here. Like, she talks about like, oh yeah, this is like a credible threat and we're canceling the orders. Nothing about how shady this all seemed or anything like that is anywhere in here. It's just it's wild to me that part of that story just seems to not be getting out in the mainstream.
It's video game journalism.
So, anyways,
copy and paste from all your other websites. That's what we do.
Said,
oh, I mean, what?
Probably change your credit card number.
Yeah, it reeked to fucking stink. I'm like, nope. Like,
so
I'll get a black or a white or a green or a purple or pink when Sony does it.
Yeah.
And or when you can just buy, like, I'm sure people are already making 3D printed, like, just shells because you just slap on the two pieces, right?
Yep.
Like, I'm sure there's going to be in a couple of weeks, someone's going to have, like, here's the 3D. Oops, well, I punched my microphone. Sorry, everyone's ears. I'm sure there's going to be someone who has, like, a more boxier design in black, which they're basically just going to 3D print that is going to make the system look basically rectangular.
Yeah.
Because it just clicks on. You pull off those white plates and you can basically make your own if you have the means. I don't have a 3D printer, but, you know.
I'm amazed you, of all people, don't actually have a 3D printer.
I have thought about it, but a 3D printer involves time. And I have time.
Space and everything.
It's not a space thing. It's just having the time to, like, take from wasting the time that I do have playing video games, editing a podcast, and all my other responsibilities between having a family and paying attention to my wife and child as poorly as I already do, that I don't need another distraction to vacuum time away. Yeah. Trust me, I could make
12 hours into this print job, something went wrong.
But there's so many cool... Man, why did you bring it up? I have thought about buying one because you can do cool shit with Transformers. Like you can print
do cool shit with a lot of stuff.
You can print like basically upgrade kits for like Transformers, like weapons and all kinds of stuff. It's pretty cool. Nintendo news. Nintendo reveals a new Switch. That's why Dane was calling me an idiot, because I thought it was cool. It's a red Switch to celebrate Mario.
Red and blue.
The launch of the next Mario game. This story from Jeff Grubby Grub from Games Beat, Venture Beat, whatever the hell you want to call it. Not much to say. It's
the
just
next
a
Mario re-release, you mean?
Yeah, Mario 3D World and Bowser's Fury. Hey, there's a new trailer for Bowser's Fury that shows off some really cool new gameplay, which is also a story here that we've also got from Eurogamer. Again, if you weren't aware, all the stories we talk about in the news are embedded in the show notes, so you can click on all these links that we talk about, see all these stories and videos for yourself if you're so interested. If you missed it, like especially this trailer of the new Bowser's Fury stuff looks really fucking cool. And also,
looks interesting.
Super Mario 3D World is a really good freaking Mario game. It's an awesome Mario game. So
I'm not saying it's not. It's just I still own it on my Wii U.
Yeah, but it's a fucking Wii U, and the Wii U sucks, and everyone has Switches.
And they got to
now.
take everything from the Wii U and move it over.
That's just a
it.
bomb, dude.
And now they can charge full price again for it.
Well, they didn't sell enough copies on Wii U. They only had Wii U was like 9 million systems or so. It was bad.
It was not a lot. It was not a lot.
It was bad.
No.
And the Switch is like at 60, if not 70 by now. Maybe even 80. The thing's selling like hotcakes. It's probably going to pass the fucking PS4. Pass the Xbox One. Easily.
Well, yes, that for sure.
And it came out years later. It still outsold the PS5. It's outsold everything.
Well, that's only because they can't get enough of them.
But every month this year, the Switch has still outsold the other two consoles. The Switch is doing fucking.
Oh no, it's doing super well. That's like
this red system looks really cool. Because I was contemplating importing the red Joy-Cons from Japan, the Mario colored red, because it's like a dark red. It's not like that neon red.
Yeah, they do look good.
But the actual system is red as well. So when it comes to the case,
it does look pretty cool, man.
I don't know. I think I'm gonna buy one of these. I'm a sucker.
I mean, yeah, you are that.
It looks cool.
As soon as I saw this, I was like, well, I see what Rick's new.
And I'm kind of getting at that, like, my daughter's she's kind of gravitating towards playing games now.
Oh yeah.
And I can give her a Switch and we can play together. And I don't know. We'll see. That brings us to our public service announcements. Star Wars Battlefront 2 is your free game on the Epic Game Store this week, starting tomorrow. Or when if you're listening to the podcast, it's available now. If you're watching the show live, it's still, what is it? Something Sun?
Crying Suns is still happening right now till January 14th. And then January 14th till the 21st is Battlefront 2 Celebration Edition.
No offense to Crying Suns, but I just didn't even add it to my account because I know I will never play it.
I added it because why not?
I will never play it. Look, I guess it looks neat. I don't know. It's free. Fuck. I guess I should, right?
I like to add stuff just because, like, maybe I'm not interested right now, but what happens if, like, later on somebody, like, I hear something about it and it was, like, free
and then you missed out.
I realized, like, man, I was an idiot. Why didn't I grab that when it was fucking free?
I guess I'm just an asshole.
So.
I just have that's like my whole PSN.
I know.
Like, backlog,
I know. Especially with Hitman 3 coming out next week.
Battlefront
2 Celebration Edition.
Right, I also played that on stupid Xbox. That might be neat to play on PC.
I mean, the single player's still the single player.
Yeah, that story sucked.
Which unfortunately was not awesome.
It was hey, I'm a bad guy. I'm instantly a good guy. Like, what? Like, it was so
I mean, I'd be curious. Maybe I'll install it and play some of the multiplayer.
The multiplayer stuff was cool, like especially the dogfighting shit. But now we have squadrons, so it's like, well.
Yeah, but I just mean like it looks like they've really obviously worked on that game over the last couple of years, and it
Star Wars video games are still cool because you get the cool music. It's like, Anyway, Dane, that's it for public service announcements. That's your free game on Epic Game Store. That brings us to
Yeah.
our free-for-all section.
So last week,
You kind of
at
talked
our
about it at
free-for-all
the top of the
section,
show.
I talked about how I had just installed my 3070 and I hadn't really had a chance to mess around with it yet, but I would have thoughts this week on this show. Turns out that I did have thoughts, and then I got rid of the 3070. And now I have a 6800 XT. So I spent a week with the 3070. It was a increase from my Vega 64 card. I don't have anything bad to say. It was I think it was a good card.
But it wasn't the generational leap you were looking for.
That's absolutely
for a main
it.
high-end gaming PC.
It was one of those things where it was like I was seeing increases in all the stuff. Some stuff was smoother and whatnot, but it wasn't that like, holy shit, this is
gonna buy me another
upgrade.
5 years.
Well, I never expect a video card to last me that long, but at least a couple years.
Yeah, you're like,
I'm
going to be top tier for quite a while here.
Yeah.
I don't have to turn shit down for a few years again. This is sweet. This is why I PC game.
So, and that was the thing. So the thing is that when I got the 3070, my big hope was that I was going to install it. I was going to be really impressed with it at running, because I run at 1440p. So the hope was that I was going to install it, I was going to run stuff, and I was going to go, shit, man, like this card kills for 1440p. Like, I don't think I need anything else.
Because they kind of pitched that card as a 1440p card, right?
Well, it's a 2080 Ti. Like, that's what the card is, right? Like, it's essentially like, it's performance-wise, that's like literally what it is.
Last year's flagship or the year before. Whatever.
Right. It's their previous gen flagship
for half the price.
Exactly.
That's a huge thing. You got to remember, this thing is not $1,500. It's $800.
Exactly.
Or even less if you manage to get a Founders Edition or one of the other versions. But plus or minus, realistically, it's an $800 card.
Right. And so like that was the thing. Like I was like I said, I saw the performance increases. I was, it was definitely better than the one that I had. Like that was that wasn't in question here, but I just didn't feel like it was that like, holy shit, this doesn't make me want to not have a 3080 or a 6800 XT.
Yeah.
And, and that was the thing. And so like my thought was like, you know what, I'll keep it. I'll give it a whirl. I did have an order in, I'd put one in a while ago with Memory Express, like my local kind of PC shop, for a 6800 XT. Supply has been so ridiculous to try and get a hold of those cards that I wasn't expecting to see that probably till February, possibly even March.
And then they randomly called you up today.
And then yesterday, I get a phone call and the guy's like, hey man, it's Buddy from Memory Express. Like, did you order a 6800 XT? And I was like, you fucking rights, I did. And he's like, well, I got it.
I think Vancouver is better than fucking Victoria for supply, which doesn't surprise me, but
it's been weird, man. Like I've seen some cards that I never would have expected to see ending up in like little towns and stuff, like, because Memory Express has like shops all over Canada. And like for a while, like you could get 6800s or 6900s in like Saskatchewan and stuff. Like it just so happened that those stores got cards shipped to them and nobody was really, you know what I mean? Like it's all supply and demand, right? So they had managed to get a shipment in. So I have removed the 3070. It is going to a good home. It's already been sold and gone.
For what you paid,
I have installed
nice.
Yes, I did not. It was what I paid for it. That's all I wanted for it, was to cover the cost. And so I have a 6800 XT now. That's been installed, and I will say, holy shit.
Yeah, it's
fast,
nice, man.
So I'm very impressed. Like it was definitely that. Whoa. That was the jump that I was hoping to see, and I realized, like, looking at it later, like the 3070 killer card, and it was like literally it was the pinnacle of the last gen, but it didn't go further than that. And like, so the thing is like the 6800 and the 3080, that's the thing, is they're taking that next leap, right?
Yeah,
They're that
that's
next
where
jump.
you want to be. Like the 3080 and the 6080 are like this.
Exactly.
In benchmarks, it's like one trounces the other, or one trounces the other. Or it's like, even like I was looking at benchmarks, it's like 1 or 2 frames.
Oh yeah, sometimes it's so small you can't even notice.
It's like, okay, oh man, I like looked at one of the benchmarks, like, oh man, the 6800 beats the 38, and then I look at it, I'm like, 1 fucking frame, I'm like, get out of here.
Yeah. Or 3 frames or whatever.
But like, yeah, I love my 3080. Like,
so
God, I can't wait until I get my new CPU.
That's kind of my similar to last week. I haven't really had an opportunity to play with it yet.
But you immediately noticed though. More time than last week, though, a whole day. You got the 3070 the same day we recorded last week.
Yes, I had literally installed it earlier that night and ran like a couple benchmarks to see what it was.
Your watch is over. I'm happy you got what you wanted. It was like me. I was ecstatic when I got my 3080, and then how happy I was running shit on it. The thing is, I'm running mine with like such a handicap fucking CPU. Not that the 3600 is a bad CPU by any means.
You're really not. You're like, it's funny because like that's probably less of a handicap than my processor is now.
Yeah, but it is the entry level CPU and a gen ago now. So like,
the thing is that a lot of games, like apparently
a lot of games, 36. The guys at Memory Express were saying that CPU is like the best selling CPU.
Yep.
Like it is a great CPU.
The thing is for most games, single threaded performance is very important, and most games can't utilize it yet,
or they don't efficiently.
Don't utilize more than like 6 threads, anyways, right? So
hey, well now I'm gonna have 16 soon. So why the fuck not? I gotta be a big boy with lots of threads like Dane. Yeah. What's yours got?
12.
Okay.
12. Oh no, sorry, I got 12 cores, 24 threads.
Yeah, whatever.
So you'll have 16 cores, 36 threads.
Yeah, whatever. Anyway, it's cool. Pretty exciting.
Yep. It'll be great for lots of the new games, and you'll probably have to turn some of those threads off if you want to play some of the old games, because it'll just break.
That's okay. So,
there's that.
That card looks cool, though. I like the way it looks. It's a nice looking card.
Yeah. No, I'm quite pleased.
Good thing it fits in your case.
Oh, boy, it was so tight, man. So, like, I looked online before I ordered because I had 334 millimeters apparently of clearance in between my rad and like for the card, and the card was 313 millimeters long.
Yeah,
and I was like, okay, that's cool. Like, and then you start remembering it's millimeters, and like that's like not a lot of space. So I was literally trying to put this thing into my case, and I'm like doing the like, wait, it can't go that way. Like, it was like I had to like trying to do the angle, because the thing that you forget is that on the edge of the case where the door clips in,
there's like a lip
out.
Yeah,
there's a little lip. So literally the card was like too long, and I was like, oh shit, what if I can't get this stupid card in there? And I'm like, yeah, so I did manage to Tetris it in there. It was very tight though. So I was honestly getting a little nervous at one point. I was like, oh shit, am I gonna have to send this thing back to get like a shorter card, because it's just
my case is so stupid big. It just, from my 3080, it was just like it's so much room. It's like stupid.
So it's so I'm very excited. My watch is over. I am no longer.
I'm excited to update this
internet.
I'm really excited to update this PC. I can't wait.
So yeah.
I might actually spend some time and do more fun stuff with the stream layout and software, and I just don't want to do too much stuff because I don't want this computer to blow up. Though right. this podcast computer is better than the old podcast computer that we were having lots of headaches with a couple months ago. But this one is, it's streaming is, it's a 1080, though it's good. It's doesn't have a lot of the new free fun stuff that the new video cards have that come with streaming and encoding and making it like a lot easier on the overall system.
Fair enough.
Though this one is much more efficient. Anyway, congrats, Dean. See, not all things are bad. Some things are good. People are getting the video cards they want. People are getting fun stuff.
Yep.
2020, fuck 2021.
Yeah, man.
I need a fucking.
We're a few weeks in.
I need a
don't know if you
vacation.
noticed that, but
I already decided. I told the wife, I'm like, when we can travel again, I'm like, we're just doing like a huge vacation, like ridiculous vacation.
we're not talking about this again.
Yeah, y'all are
Moving
fucking.
on.
I already told her we're going to like fucking both Disneylands and fucking Hawaii. I'm using like all my. I'm gonna take like a month off. It's gonna be fucking. It's gonna be so stupid because I'm gonna need it.
Well, there you go.
I'll tell everyone when I'm in Disneyland and in Florida. You guys are more than welcome to meet up if
Sweet.
you want, because this is probably going to be a long time from now still. Dean,
And I think with that, you got anything else to add?
no, that's an episode 288 in the gigabits and in your ear hole.
Woo!
Thanks for hanging out, everyone. Thanks for listening. Thanks for tuning in. If you're new, hopefully we didn't drive you away and you made it this far. I think it's an all right show. I think we did all right.
Well, that was pretty much awful.
Yeah, nobody cried. We're still
I cry
here.
after the show. I just don't, I don't cry on the show. I wait till it's over. Come on.
Episode 288. You can follow me on Twitter at Rick F No K RICF.
You can come hang out with me on Twitter at Dane Cody at DAYNECODY.
Of course, you can find the podcast where all fine podcasts are distributed: Spotify podcast or Google Podcast, Google Play. What did they call it now? I don't fucking know. iTunes, the Apple Podcast app. We're everywhere. RSS feeds, your podcast player of choice. Of course, rate and review us on the Apple Podcast app if you have it, or the podcast app on iOS or Mac OS, whatever, wherever. Helps the show. We don't ask for much. Of course, we also are streaming live. You can see our handsome mugs weekly on twitch.tv/Geekoholics. And of course, you can subscribe to us on Twitch. Help support the show. If you have Amazon Prime, you've got Prime Gaming, which means you get a free sub every month.
Woo.
Hey, we're not going to be upset if you throw it our way. You know, like that's a $2.50 tip every month.
Yeah.
Get rid of those Bezos bucks. Let's keep him from being the richest man in the world. You know, he doesn't need all that money.
If everybody used all their Bezos bucks, he'd still be very rich. But you know, more people would be less poor, I guess.
Your Prime Gaming sub also doesn't auto renew, so you have to redo it every month.
That's why we remind you.
Yeah,
on a regular basis.
And you don't have to give it to us; just give it to someone on Twitch. Who cares? It's just a reminder. Of course, you can also.
We'd like it to be us.
Yes,
but
of course, you can also support the show through our Epic Games creator code Geekoholics. That's your Fortnite, Rocket League, and Epic Games Store stuff. And also Twitch, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. We're Geekoholics everywhere. By the time you're watching or listening to this, if you missed the live stream, last week's show will be on the YouTube channel. So
sweet.
If you want to clip stuff out or just catch last week's show, it is already uploaded and live on Twitch or on YouTube. Sorry, the archive. I think they're on Twitch too, but
they are.
I'm going to do a better job of exporting every week's show, starting with 2021 to YouTube, because sometimes I forgot to do it and episodes are missing. But for 2021, I will try to have last week's episode by the time we record this week on YouTube, in case you want to go back.
Sweet.
For whatever reason.
Excellent.
I think that's it. We touched on everything. The social medias, the podcast subscriptions, the Twitch. We don't have any contests. I got to come up with something soon, I think. I don't know. Maybe we'll do another game. The game ones seem to be all right. People like free video games.
That they do. I have a handful that we can pool together.
Oh, I got to add more. Fuck, I have so many games on Humble that I will never redeem.
I've also a ton of games.
Just a reminder. On the Discord, I think it's in the welcome channel pinned, or in one of the channels. Look at the pinned messages. I can't remember where it is. There's a list of
we got a big ass list of free PC games.
There's a list of free PC games. We got a couple new faces around here. Maybe you haven't asked for one yet. Maybe you already have asked for one. Ask for another one. I don't care. I gotta get rid of some of that shit. Go in there, read the instructions, message me on Discord, get yourself a free video game for doing nothing, for showing up. for
Sweet.
being our friends. And with that, Dane, we are done. We are out until next week.
Bye.
Peace.